Using the Strangler pattern to move from your monolithic legacy to microservices. Let's check it out. If you missed our previous video on monolithic versus microservices, you must watch this before taking a look at this video. We talked about the importance of moving to microservices and decoupling teams so they can release at the pace of relevance. Teams must be enabled to pick the best tool to get their job done, whether it's programming languages or databases. Of course, you want to be able to release at your own pace. Ideally, APIs must be shared and well documented so that teams can consume them easily. So now you're back with our dear e-commerce application, and we're going to strangle it. We're going to take the legacy and turn it into microservices. Don't worry, we're not going to hurt anyone just yet. We're going to turn it into a set of loosely coupled microservices by cutting them using our training from domain-driven design. So we have different domains: billing, payment, user, search, and so on. And you also have products with product details and more. Let's say you want to take that legacy and turn it into microservices. You're going to start strangling by effectively cutting into domains and then assigning each service to 2 pizza teams you can feed with 2 pizzas. Each of these services now can be refactored, but how do you get started? You don't just pick whatever you like. You pick the first services to strangle by looking at what do you want to improve in that service. So ideally, you end up delivering not just refactored service as a microservice, but you also deliver new capabilities as well, so your end users don't feel like you've been spending 3 years just to refactor an application with no improvements. That's the key of the Strangler pattern. You want to be able to improve the legacy while refactoring it. And you're going to pick the first services based on what you can improve. So let's say you want to add a new service to do recommendations for what to buy next. That is a new microservice called recommendation. That recommendation microservice can be created with a 2 pizza team probably in a couple of weeks. It's going to impact your product detail page because you're going to show the 5 products to buy next to that product. So you're going to have 2 teams, one microservice team building the product detail page as a microservice container, and the recommendation service as a microservice containerized as well. So now the beauty is you're going to be able to deliver that in a 2-week cycle while delivering as well this new recommendation service. How this works is you're putting the legacy to the side and you never update it ever again, only for cyber issues. In front of it, you're going to put a service mesh with an API gateway at the ingress. What that means is that all the traffic initially will just point to the legacy at first. The more you're going to start building new services, the more the API and service mesh will be pointing to the new microservices. Slowly but surely, you're going to take a bite at a time of the legacy, refactoring existing monolithic services into a containerized service, and also improving with new capabilities at the same time those existing services as well. You're going to wake up at some point and realize that you were able to take one bite at a time of the legacy and strangling it to make it new microservices. The key is to make sure that you never ever add new capabilities to the legacy, because otherwise you're going to keep trying to catch up. So the key is to make sure that any new feature or any change that's not cyber related is always done using new microservices and not modifying the legacy monolith. So let's take a look at how you will strangle your monolithic application to microservices. So first, of course, you have the time. Time is always of the essence, right? So time goes by. You're starting here with your monolith. So your monolith, it's big, it's bloated, it's right here, monolith. Like we talked about, you're going to put an API gateway here in the front of your stack with a service mesh to be able to slowly refactor pieces of your monolith using domain-driven design and then swap it and move it to microservices, but you also want to improve and add new capabilities at the same time. You don't just want to spend time to rewrite the same thing for years and your users are going to complain nothing is improving. So you want to bring not only refactoring, but you want to bring and prioritize new features, and that's how you decide what to refactor first. So here in this case, what we're going to do is effectively start by taking maybe a product microservice, and we're going to start slowly in 2 pizza teams, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, user stories, deliver that in production. But we also always want to improve and add a new capability as well. So here we're going to build a recommendation microservice to propose new products when you're looking for other products. So it's an upsell. And now what you're going to see here is that your monolith is a little bit smaller now, right? Because we took the product piece and now that is gone, right? So all this product legacy is now gone. The API gateway is now pointing the product and recommendation to the new stack, and the legacy still points to the old monolithic application. And what you're going to do, you're going to keep doing that, right? You're going to keep building and refactoring, right? So you're going to have these, but you're going to keep taking pieces, and you're always going to keep improving, right? While factoring. So this recommendation service here, but you're going to do a new one here maybe, right? You're going to keep taking bites slowly but surely. You're going to take bites and you're going to be able to slowly take down and strangle your monolith. Now you have all this and all this gone, and slowly but surely, right? You're going to wake up one day and you're going to realize there's only one piece left, right? And you're going to have a bunch of new services, new features. Your users are happy because you didn't spend time refactoring. Here you ended up also building lots of new microservices, lots of new services, and also refactoring. So the blue is the refactoring here. You refactored a lot of different things, right? And then you took your legacy down to the last module, right? The last piece, right? And now finally here, you strangled it. No, it's gone, no more. Everything is now completely containerized using microservices. And the beauty here is over time, you have not only just refactored, right, the blue here, but you also have added new capabilities, the yellow, new features that your users will care about, and people funding you will pay attention to, because no one likes to wait 3 years for refactoring with no new improvements, right? So now you're improving while refactoring. That's a key piece of the Strangler pattern. There you have it. The Strangler pattern is the only way to modernize and transform your monolithic application into microservices while improving them. The latter part is so important. You don't want to have your user frustrated for 3 years waiting for new features. You also don't want the people funding your work to feel like you've not done anything for 3 years because no additional feature were ever delivered. If you write the exact same thing without visible improvement and you just refactor existing applications, people will not be happy. That's why often teams fail to modernize software before they even finish because of the lack of improvements. So you want to prioritize the refactoring based on new features and improvements you can add at the same time. So let's get started now and let's strangle your legacy.